Hi, I'm Laura D. Pusey, the founder of Dipism, Death in Practice. And this is the channel where we are talking the things on dying, death, life, and grief. Each week I will answer a question and I will say it as I see it, cause, well, I've seen a lot. In the last lecture, I answered the question, am I protecting them? If you have questions about that lecture or you want me to answer a question for you, send me an email at deathinpractice@gmail.com. Okay, let us now open the veil of luminescence. With the intention of infinite truths, by the pulse of sacred light, I call forth the veil of luminescence. I anchor this veil in sovereign light to transmute and contain all energetic imprints, attachments, and residues across all realms. The material plane, where grief etches into the body. The emotional plane, where sorrow swells and purges. The mental plane, where stories of loss seek resolution. The astral plane, where echoes of the departed linger. The interdimensional corridors, where ancestral and cosmic threads intertwine. The parallel universes, where grief and grace mirror each other. This veil, woven of remembrance and radiance, is encoded with clarity to discern what is yours and what is not. Containment to protect your field, compassion to honour the sacred work of grief, transmutation to alchemize pain into wisdom. Let this veil shimmer between worlds, holding space for the divinity of each soul, the teachings where presence dissolves suffering, the soul's awakening where death births depth, the healing where grief becomes grace. This veil is not a wall but a sacred membrane, allowing only what aligns with truth, love, and remembrance to pass through. By the breath of the infinite, by the pulse of the sacred, I seal this veil with sovereignty and light. Welcome. And just to let you know, we are using a temporary new template for this short series of lectures. We are moving into the internal aspects of grief. We're going there because it is necessary to understand how the body is reacting to grief, especially when someone we have dearly loved dies. As always, I will invite you to do your own research, and this is just a starter to your journey of knowing yourself better so that you can navigate your body and control your external life experience in this ever-changing world. So, the first naturally occurring chemical within our bodies that we are discussing today is oxytocin. It is produced in the brain and released into the bloodstream. It affects both emotions and physical sensations. I'm not going in any particular order. I'm just breaking the chemicals down because I often say that our hearts, minds, and bodies grieve when we experience any kind of loss or upset. So together, we are taking a closer look. So, What is oxytocin and how does it work? How is it activated and how does it affect our experience of grief? Well, oxytocin is a hormone and a neurotransmitter. It is often called the bonding hormone or the love hormone. It is produced in the brain, specifically in the hypothalamus, and it is released by the pituitary gland. I can never say that word. It plays a major role in social bonding, trust, attachment, childbirth, and emotional connection. What does it do? Well, it strengthens emotional bonds like the bond between a parent and a child, a romantic partner, and close friendships and relationships. Oxytocin increases feelings of trust, empathy, and safety. It reduces stress by lowering cortisol, which is the stress hormone, and it reinforces social memories, how we remember people, relationships, and events. So, why does it feel so painful when someone we love dies? And how does it affect our grief? Well, grief is deeply tied to attachment, and oxytocin is one of the main chemicals behind attachment. Its role is very complex and explains why any form of loss is so painful. When someone you're bonded to dies, your brain is still wired to expect them. Oxytocin helped to build that bond. So the absence creates a kind of biological withdrawal, which causes your brain to seek the person, which intensifies the longing and the sadness. Back in lecture 16, I explain what pain is and why we feel it. So much of what is spoken of in that lecture relates to this and the following videos coming up on the body and how it functions during experiences of grief. Grief hurts physically, emotionally, and mentally because oxytocin interacts with brain regions that are linked to both emotional and physical pain. So, during grief, it is entirely natural to feel real physical aching or heaviness. It is partly because our attachment systems that are regulated by oxytocin have been disrupted. We need to pull it all back together, but it takes time to get over that disruption. Even though grief is about loss, oxytocin supports your recovery. Our healing processes are helped by our connections to others, which is why I often encourage you to talk. If not with your family or friends, then speak to us through Dippism or the Grief and Loss Community Group, or with those who are in other organisations designed to help you through your grief. You can also release oxytocin by spending time with supportive people. It can reduce stress and feelings of isolation, and physical touch like hugs and holding hands can be extremely powerful. You may not want to be hugged or touched, but human connection is so necessary. Oxytocin isn't just a feel-good chemical. Oxytocin strengthens emotional memories. So when you are grieving, you may feel strong waves of nostalgia, and positive memories can bring both comfort and pain. I've said before, those memories are yours, and whilst you might file them away, they are always there to assist you on your healing journey. Yes, it hurts. Oxytocin isn't just a feel-good chemical. With us, it can intensify emotional sensitivity, leaving us feeling like shit sometimes. So in grief, that means that we will experience both deeper sadness and deeper connection when support is present. Grief isn't just psychological, it's biological. Oxytocin helps us to understand from a scientific perspective why the death of someone we love feels like losing a part of ourselves. That's why I despair when I hear professionals pushing drugs on their grieving clients or implying that there is a mental imbalance. Although we may continue to live, an aspect of ourselves dies when someone we love dies. One of the most important prophets of our time, the legendary Dennis Emmanuel Brown, once sang, "No man is an island, no man stands alone. Each man has a brother, and each man's dream has a role." Being around caring people genuinely helps, and healing often involves forming or strengthening new connections. So even if you have to curl up in your room and shut everyone else out for a while, you must at some point go back out there and boost your oxytocin levels so that you can heal your grief in a meaningful and positive way. I don't think that means rushing back to work though, or carrying on like the person never existed. Honor them, take them with you, and return to life in your own time. You know what? Most times when someone dies, we find ourselves surrounded by love and attention. Everyone is falling over themselves to be a support. Sometimes it is welcomed, and other times it can feel like an added weight or a hindrance. But when the performance is over and people go back to living their lives, we may sometimes want to be alone. Sometimes we are left wondering where everyone went, and we suddenly find ourselves alone with empty promises and an uncertain future. It can be a very dangerous time because our oxytocin levels are low. The person who helped to keep them topped up is no longer physically around, and no one else can fill that void. Don't be afraid to reach out to those who have always said that they'll be there for you. Test them. Share your grief and make new connections to discover the new you. Do it in your own time. There is no rush, and it is no one else's responsibility. But to those who are witnessing the isolation of grief in another, whether you yourself are grieving or someone you know and love is going through the process of grieving, be aware that the time following the funeral is the time when you are actually needed. So just pop your head in and say hello. And yes, my friend, sometimes you do have to cut people off and find new connections. Sometimes you just do. But in general, people are there for you. Sometimes you have to reach out and let them in. They won't necessarily come to you, not because they don't care, but because they don't know what to do. Once again, please do your own research and form your own conclusions. The information is out there, and we don't have any excuses for ignorance anymore. If you have any thoughts about anything in this video and you need to share your thoughts with me, then let me know at deathinpractice@gmail.com. Please state clearly whether any part of your email can be shared. And if you would like a one-to-one with myself or one of my grief practitioners, then contact us at dippism.com. The workbooks Tapestries of Grief and My Life's Tapestry are available on Amazon, and the basic Dippism End of Life course that helps you to assist those at the end of their lives, and the Dippism Cultural Grief Awareness course that helps you to assist those who are grieving are both now available online. If someone you know needs to see this video or would benefit from end of life or grief services, don't be a clown. Share the video far and wide. You never know who is struggling. All of my links are in the description box below. And now, let us close the veil of luminescence. Hey there. Before we close the veil of luminescence, I need your help. We now have the Grief and Loss Community Group CIC, which is a community interest company. I've set this up because our grief is in a bad way, and we need something that is for us and by us to help us to understand our grief and gain an awareness of death in a more uplifting way. If you resonate with these videos and want to get involved with the national Grief and Loss Community Group, please reach out through the Grief and Loss Community Group at gmail.com. With our support and funding, you could set up a grief hub in your area, or train to become a Dippism end-of-life guide or peer support grief practitioner. We need you, and those approaching death or are grieving the death of a loved one, they need you too, just as you are. Contact us. By the breath of the infinite, by the pulse of the sacred, I honour the veil of luminescence now fulfilled. This veil, once summoned to transmute and contain, has held the field with clarity, compassion, and sovereign light. As the teachings settle and the soul integrates, I call forth the sacred closure of this veil across all realms. On the mental plane, let the body rest in renewal. On the emotional plane, let sorrow soften into spaciousness. On the mental plane, let stories find stillness. On the astral plane, let echoes return to source. Through interdimensional corridors, let threads untangle. Across spheres and planetary systems, allow contracts to be honoured and released. Let all residues now return to their rightful place, dissolved, dispersed, or transmuted by sovereign light. Let the veil fold inward, encoded with discernment to preserve what is true, containment to seal what is sacred, compassion to cradle what remains tender, and wisdom to carry forth what has been alchemized. This veil is reabsorbed into the soul's archive, a luminous record of presence, grief, and transformation. By the breath of the infinite, by the pulse of the sacred, I seal this veil with sovereignty and light.